Shalom Aleichem, everyone. Hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful week. It is Erev Shabbos, actually Thursday, Thanksgiving, Rosh Chodesh Kislev, and Parshat Toldot. So normally on a Thanksgiving, Rosh Chodesh, I would definitely want to speak about Hallel and Todah, but I really want to speak today a little bit about Black Friday. And I think the messages of Black Friday, Thanksgiving, this time of year, especially in Chutz La'aretz, are things that we need to hear a little bit more about. And I will tell you that even I remember 10 years ago, Black Friday was irrelevant in Eretz Yisrael. Irrelevant. Thanksgiving was irrelevant. All of a sudden now, the past 5 or so years, advertisements all over, and I imagine it's all over the world. If it's in Israel, which has no shaykhus to Thanksgiving, it's all over the world. Black Friday is a day, and the malls are packed, and the stores are packed, and there's sales and everything else. And we live in an extremely, extremely commercialized world, and I think that gets heightened in a very, very real way this time of year, where nonstop our advertisements, our sales, and getting ready for our holiday shopping, and over and over and over again, and the essence and the message of commercialism and consumerism overwhelms us. And I think as we look at our main characters of this week's Parshat Toldot, and we see the early years, the early descriptions of Yaakov Avinu and Esav, I think the Torah is really trying to contrast something for us in a very, very clear and very profound way. And we open up the Parsha and we're told that Rivka Imenu is pregnant with twins, Vayisrotzu Abanim B'kirba, and finally she has her children. And the Torah tells us in Pasuk Chaf of Perek Chaf Vayetze Harishon Admoni Kulo Kaderet Se'ar Vayikru Shmo Esav. So the early description that we have of young Esav is, number one, he's Admoni, he's red. Number two, he is hairy, Kaderet Se'ar. And number three, his name is Esav. So the theme perhaps that we derive from Esav himself, just in the Pshuto Shel Mikra, is Admoni. The redness implies a passion, a fiery type of personality, an individual who has this emotional kind of piece to him. Se'ar, he's born hairy, which suggests there's a certain physical maturity about him. He's not a developing character. A typical baby is very smooth-skinned. He's already hairy. He already has an animalistic, perhaps, side to him, a very gashmi side to him, a furry side to him, and he's already Esav, he's already asui, he's already ready-made, he is not developing. Then we're told about Yaakov. And Yaakov is reaching out to the heel of his brother Esav. He's reaching out, he's a reacher, he's a striver, he's a seeker. The very name Yaakov is in the future tense. He's not asui, he is projecting to something in the future. And indeed, when we see about their professions, we are told that Esav is an ish, Yodea Tzayid ish sadeh, he's a hunter. Yes, Admoni, he's fiery, he's passionate, he's physical. He's a very physical person. Yaakov is more contemplative. He's a thinker, he's reflective. V'Yaakov ish tam yoshev ohalim, engaged in spiritual endeavors. Strikingly, Yitzchak has an attraction to Esav, perhaps because he sees in himself, Yitzchak sees in himself the alter ego of Yaakov, the Ishtam Yoshev Ohalim, and perhaps the next Av is going to have to be a man of the world, a man of action. And we are told again in the opening story, Vayazed Yaakov Nezid, Vayavo Esav ben Asadeh v'ayef. So Yaakov is preparing some food. Esav comes back from the Sada very tired. Vayomer Esav el Yaakov. And Esav says to Yaakov, Haliteni na min adom adom hazeh, ki ayefat anochi al ken krashmo edom. Pour me now, in its raw state, incomplete, just pour me, give it to me now. Min adom adom hazeh, I'm starving, I'm hungry, I want food now. That's the imagery. Haliteni na, pour it down my throat, give it to me right now. A very aggressive kind of request. And Yaakov, the futuristic person, contemplative, reflective, looking to the future, says, I'll give it to you, sure. I'll give you this physical pleasure right now on the condition that michra kayom es bechoresecha li, in exchange for something in the future. Vayomer Esav. So Esav, Edom, Rome says, I'm going to die. We're all going to die. So live and be merry, for tomorrow you will die. And therefore he says, Lama Zeli Bechora. Why do I have to worry about the future? The present, here and now, is what I'm concerned with. We're all destined to die. So let's live for the here and now. And of course, Esav receives the porridge. Yaakov receives the Bechora. Vayakov nosam le'esav lechem nezid adashim. And listen to these words. Vayochal, vayesh, vayakam, vayelech, vayives, Esav es habechora. 5 verbs. The only time in Tanakh that I'm aware that you have this. 5 verbs, staccato, one after the other. Vayochal, vayesh, vayakam, vayelech, vayives, Esav es habechora. And Esav sacrifices his legacy, his future, the Bechora of Yitzhak Avinu, for a bowl of cholent. And this is the Esav personality. Esav is impulsive. Esav is aggressive. He's physical. He's materialistic. He's a Baal Taiva. Yaakov is the Ish Tam Yoshev Oalim. He takes, in his formative years, he's building himself. He's building himself towards his future. He's sacrificing some immediate pleasures right now for a greater future, something bigger. And in fact, it's striking that everything that Esav was destined for, Esav was destined, Leah was destined for Esav, she marries Rachel. The Gashmias bracha was destined for Esav, it goes to Yaakov. Yaakov ultimately gets everything because he's cautious, he's deliberative, he withholds of some of the immediate pleasures in order for that greater good. And as we think of life on this world, a very temporal world, a very short life that we have here, I think we ought to, sometimes we need to recalibrate, especially this time of year, with the Black Friday sales and with the focus around us, the commercialization of everything, even very wholesome holidays, other religious holidays, but they are wholesome. They have good values, but it gets all swept up in the Gashmias, the materialism, the Edom, the live and be merry, for tomorrow you will die. That's something that we have to learn from Esav. The approach of Yaakov is we have to build the future. How we educate ourselves, how we sit in yeshiva, we invest time in our learning in these formative years of the Yaakov Ishtam, Yoshev Oalim, so that in the future we'll be ready and capable of handling the Lovins of the world, of handling the Esavs of the world. We'll go ahead because we have that deep-rooted foundation that we invested in our formative years that enables us to meet the challenges that no doubt will approach us in the future. So to calibrate, to have a proper sense of calibration, we all need Gashmias, we all need materialism, we all need nice things, we want nice things, but to keep it in check, to not get swept away with the Amazonization, I don't know if that's a word, I don't think it is, but the Amazonization, the Appleization of the world, is to keep things in perspective, to know our place, to really instill that yes, while Yaakov Avinu might have at certain times, we have the Adayim Yudei Esa, but to understand that the kol, the voice that is in our ears, the inner voice is always teaching us Hakol Kol Yaakov, the lessons of Yaakov, and be wary of the dangers of getting too caught up in a society of Esav. Have a wonderful Shabbos Kodesh and a beautiful day of Shira V'Hodah HaKadosh Baruch Hu.